Our topic, experience from studying and practicing mediumship, share both good and bad experiences. I shared mine, Amelia, and Micah, and then one other person shared. We discuss things that happen in our lives since the early ages. I explain mine quickly. I summarize because there are a lot of things that we really discussed. As I said, since I was early ages, I started seeing spirits until 7 years old. When I got my first communion, I received my rosary, I pray every night, and a good, beautiful light that I call Virgin Mary was sitting in my bed and pray with me. And for me, it was so common, so daily, so no problem at all. So I tried to say to people, but they didn't listen to me, so I stopped it. Until I was 15. When I was 15, I stopped it, and when 21 years old, I started again. But it started very deeply, not the Virgin Mary anymore. Was a spirit as Charles as you, talk with me, saying bad things to me. It was a bad experiences, and I immediately asked my husband, who was a spiritist, please take me to the spirit center. I want to be free from this spirit. I don't want to see spirits anymore. But oh my God, that started my life. Okay, now I am so happy that the things that happen with me, for me, is so common. It's not a problem anymore. I can listen, I can see, I can help with automatic writing, I can draw, I can do a lot of things, but on my own. I don't want to show up these kind of things. The most important is to work in a spirit center as a medium and help the ones that need light, talk to them. That is summarize my faith. That I work in a psychiatric hospital as well, as a medium amongst doctors, psychologists, organizing to help the clients or the patients inside the hospitals, okay? And Amelia shared beautiful things from Angola, the way that they work there, the rescue there. She has 6 mediumship meetings per week. That is not enough. As we said, perhaps she's still working in the spiritual world because they need it there. It's the culture, the country needs more mediumship meetings because the wars, there are a lot of problems, it's still in the air, still need help. And someone here that started 4 months ago or 6 months ago studied mediumship in Finland. I think more or less 6 months ago they studied here mediumship studies. That is great as well. Doesn't need to be rushed things, but student learning, study gradually, is feeling openly. And someone said, I can hear. I don't see things, but I can hear some things, but no one is there. It is a mediumship faculty that you have, and you have to mold more, to take care of this faculty, to be a good instrument in the hands of the good benefactors. And the importance of organizing mediumship meetings among the groups of our country, that we have 22 more groups working together, 11 have a meeting together last week. It's amazing because the benefactors come and help us, give me guidelines for our task. And most of them, they have one word into their lips and say to us, unification and union, fraternity, more charity, educate yourselves, help each other, love each other. This is the way that we really can work. Without selfishness, without pride, we can put pride and selfishness under our soil and give to the roots of the plants to grow up beautifully. We don't put our pride outside, but put in the plants as a feed for plants. What else, people from my group, remember me to say things that I didn't say now?
About music. About singing.
Yes, Amelia says something very important that she used in her country, because the benefactor instructed how to help the spirits that are there. They don't listen, pray, they don't listen your words, but they can come to the light toward listen music. So she sings for them to bring them to the mediumship so they can be rescued. And I share one experience, good experience, that I say about Dr. Marlene Nobre. The 2 congresses before, that was 2011, she was with me and another person preparing her talk, and she was looking to the wall and stopped her eyes to the wall. And I saw Betty and said, what's going on? And later on, Dr. Marlene said, oh, I saw Charlie Chaplin entering the room, and she was thinking, why Charlie Chaplin is here? She is an actor, she's an artist. What he's doing here amongst our doctor event? And the answer of that came last year in October. She was giving us a very good mediumship seminar. Loads of people there, groups together, etc. Amazing ambient. The atmosphere was love. Listen, truly listen, concentrate what she was talking about. And again, she stopped her eyes there, and later on she explained and told to everybody. Charlie Chaplin again, coming to the room, dancing, doing something very different. And she was thinking, why Charlie Chaplin is here again? And behind Charlie Chaplin, loads of spirits in poor situation, in sad situation. They only came to the room, to the ambient, following Charlie Chaplin. We can pray for them, but they don't come. But following Charlie Chaplin, they came, and the benefactors circumdated them with the light and took all of them at once to rescue. You see how important it is to use other tools? And Chico Xavier said, we can take our car, go to the mountain until some part of the mountain. But from some part of the mountain, we have to have a horse to go up. The car stopped there. So we have to use our tools in good way, with a good sense, to help everywhere, anytime. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Elsa. And then I would like to invite group number 2.
Good afternoon. You were I thought, a very interesting group, because we have people who are just about to start studying mediumship, and then we've got very experienced brothers and sisters. And that was a very good mixture and a very fruitful discussion, I think. But we started asking ourselves, why do people come to spiritist groups, people who have never been there? Often it happens because they are keen to get some information that they would get from other mediums that are being paid. With the difference that in the spiritist group they don't have to pay for it, and when they realize it's not about curiosity and that you just don't go there for that reason, but that the spiritist groups works wants to promote our inner reform and wants us to move something in ourselves, wants us to change. It's not there to satisfy our curiosity. They might become disappointed. Well, that's one of the challenges mediums might face. Another challenge, first for some reason we talked about the problems and then about the positive things, so yeah, more problems for mediums. One big challenge and danger, I think, is that the pride and vanity of mediums is often being challenged by people who adulate the medium, or just the medium might get the idea that he's very special because of all these communications. So mediums have to be very careful to work their humbleness, and well, probably in a group we should take care of each other so no one gets too proud or proud at all. Another problem mediums might face is or people who want to become mediums, they've got just the idea that you go to a spiritist group and just start doing a mediumship course, and then you become a medium without studying that much, without studying about spiritism, and that would be very dangerous to work as a medium without having the basis. So this is why why spiritist groups have to explain to every newcomer how important it is to study before we start working. Yeah, we had, our colleague from Norway gave us the example that even people who come from Brazil, who we suppose have some more information about spiritism. There are also some of them who might get disappointed when they see that you just don't go to a group and start working as a medium, but you have to change yourself and to start. That's really important. What else? What are the challenges that we talked about? Was that mediumship requires a very conscious effort. We have to do a lot of. We have to be very to work our discipline. This is very important. Mediums might quit working for so many reasons, when they doubt themselves, when we are just not prepared for working as a medium, to have all this discipline, to work with all these I'm missing words in English, dedication. People that come to a group and ask for help might get disappointed, and we have to learn how to deal with it. People can be disappointed when they see that we just cannot solve their problems for them, or that the spirits won't solve their problems. Many just come and ask for the spirits to tell them what to do, and if they realize it's not going to work like that, there might be some disappointment, and the mediums just have to know how to deal with it. So not to let themselves discourage. And we had the example by Raoul Teixeira, who had a speech in Norway, and who talked about this and said, don't let yourself be disappointed by other people. Just, they are who they are, and we are doing our job. So this is very important, to just do the work and let God just do the rest. So what we underlined was on the negative side, that pride, lack of study, and being naive as working as a medium. I like this expression. They might be a highway to becoming fascinating, and later to just obsessions. But on the positive side, what we already heard today is that there are many benefits for mediums. You see the results of your work sometimes, and you can even see it immediately when the spirit, when you see how the spirit changes. Or we had a very beautiful example from London about a very sad story that a group of young models had a party about 20 years ago, and they went on a boat trip on the river. And they were hit by another boat, and the boat sank. And almost everybody died on this trip. And as it was on a river, the bodies were just being washed away. Not all of the bodies could be recovered. And then in the mediumship group, there was one girl giving a communication and asking the group to pray for her, and to pray that her body could be found, because it was just being stuck in the mud and she was suffering very much because of it. So the group started praying for her, and even the members of the group prayed for her when they did their gospel at home. And about a week later, I just heard on the news, or saw on the news, that another body of this accident has been found. So that was very beautiful experience, and it was a body which was just stuck in the mud somewhere, and that was probably that girl. So mediums should not expect people to thank them, the people who come and ask for help, but they have to be conscious that their work has many benefits. You just have to know which benefits. Another example that we had from our friend from Estonia, which I think is very important to groups who just are about to start studying. They were a study group about mediumship, and there was one person visiting who said there was a spirit who wants to communicate very strongly, and I really asked, he was asking a friend to write this communication, even though they were not prepared for it. And as we had very experienced mediums in the group, it was like some counseling, which is very important. If we started a study group and we are not experienced, we are not in a situation to work as a medium, we should never accept communications. We should always be in control and do not let the spirits take control over us. So if we are in the stage of studying, we keep on studying until we are really work as mediums. We should only accept this when we accept working like as a medium when we've got the structure for that. So I think one last point, if I didn't miss anything. If a mediumship group gets in trouble, if there are problems coming, we might want to stop working and just go back to study the gospel, go back to study until we feel we're safe again to work. Because it can even happen that the whole group is being fascinated without anyone noticing, because they were just all having the same problem. These are the points that we talked about. So some more information about groups who are going to start. Always study in a group. Sorry that it takes so much time. Always study in a group. We shouldn't study for too much time ourselves. Exchange experiences with other groups, and when we are not sure about the contents of a message that we receive, we should ask for help, we should ask for other opinions, and accept whatever they have to tell us. I hope I didn't forget anything. Our group. Sorry.
Okay, I was invited to participate one group, and we know that there was this kind of members in this group number 3, which were not having, let's say, so much. Everything is, let's say, starting still. We don't have experienced study groups, which have been practicing and studying based on the Allan Kardec's. So we are just noticed that in Finland and in Ireland, when Divaldo Franco was visiting, and it was questioned from him that, okay, we have been reading from books the philosophy, we understand the importance of the charity and moral consequences. So why it's actually needed to make us to establish this kind of mediumship practicing group? And Divaldo was looking me like me and looking like, oh, it's a little bit different in practice as in books. And later on we learned that it is the truth. It is so. And I think that I understood that same kind of tip has been given also for Ireland, for Irish groups. So I think there is as well there is some things which has been discussed that we, first of all, in Spiritism this is done in groups. Mediumship is not started to develop alone, and also it's only after the basic studies, so it's not directly that you, the first thing what you will start to deal is mediumship. There is mentioned one thing which is the language barrier. For example, in Sweden there is used material which is in English language and in Swedish language, which is under translation, and also in Ireland there is used English material. In Finland we are doing ongoing work with translation, so that material from Brazilian Spiritist Federation they are being translated to Finnish language, and our meeting here, it's 9 person, and there is 4 Finnish and 5 Brazilian, is it so?
It's the opposite.
Okay, opposite, sorry. And I try in the middle of everything, translate everything. It's quite interesting and nasty thing, but I think the most important is the sincere will to good and serve Jesus. I think that you other groups mentioned a lot of these things, what we were mentioning here also. So one thing is that there is mentioned that the objective of the Spiritism is to make moral progress. So when Spiritism is well studied, when it is understood the target of the mediumship practicing, and then it is followed asking support from Jesus and trying to be deserving this support with our own moral elevation. So then it is possible to serve these spirits which are with us.